Miles Revolution here. Today we're gonna pull out a cherry tree that died on us, and so I thought I'd use my Jeep to do it with. You know, you can cut these things down with a chainsaw and leave the stump in, but I'd rather just have the whole thing out. I don't think it's too big to pull out. What I did is I just have this chain here hooked to my Jeep, and well, we think we can pull that out here. I went ahead and I put the Jeep in four-wheel low here. So you can see on my instrument cluster there, that's 4 low. And we're just gonna try to pull this thing slowly out. So let's see how this goes. I'll just put this right here. And let's see if it makes some crunchy noises here. We can get this thing pulled out. Okay, here we go. I think my chain came off again. What's with that? Well, this thing won't stay on there. Try that again. There we go. There it is. Pulled out. Now look at that. Just broke it off right at the base there. Didn't even pull the whole thing out. Not real happy about that. The whole point was to take the whole root out. Now what am I gonna do? Probably gotta dig around the darn thing and put the chain around it again. So much for the best made plans. This tree has 5 to 6 years worth of roots, so let's see how big it really got, because I planted this tree myself. Because this thing broke off, what I'm trying to do now is just get the chain underneath the part of the stump, so that when I pull with the Jeep, that it pulls it up and out of the hole. So I'm going to put this chain theoretically around this root and see if that's enough to get me on there. Let's hope it is. Yank this puppy out. But it could be that this root just breaks off, and we'll soon find out here. If I can get this thing hooked on here. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get this pulled out. It's moving a little bit, but let's see if we can get some leverage on that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this round piece of wood underneath the chain to make it so that when I pull up or pull the chain, it actually pulls it upwards rather than just a straight direct pull on the root. So see if this will pull it out of the hole. Well, if you look on this, you can see that we've made a little bit of progress there because the soil is cracked. So let's take some of that soil out and see if that can help this thing come out. And probably take some of this dirt on the other side out of the way. So this time I moved some of this dirt out of the way here, and let's see if we can get this to come out now. Kind of progress we've made here. It's coming out. So it looks like we're making some progress there. The whole thing is actually sloped, so you know, a few more times we can probably get that out of there. I'm going to change my piece of wood here and stand it up for a little more height, perhaps, or just make a few more tugs on it and see if it comes out. See how we're doing there. Now it's making some progress. It's coming. Let me stand that board up there, I think. I gotta loosen the chain. So let's get that chain loosened. Yeah, it's coming. Well, that wasn't quite what I wanted. What it did is it ripped out that piece of root there, right off the stump. So we're gonna put the chain now underneath this, right here, and we should be able to yank the rest of the way out. Don't need that anymore. So let's just back the Jeep up here. On the bottom here, and get this thing out of here. I'll use my, well, I won't, let's see here, would this be best to use? No, probably not this time. Let's go ahead and yank it out the way it is there. Well, as you can see, I got the bulk of it here out, but there's still some other kind of remainder here, which I think I might hook the chain on. See if I can't break that off. The hole's pretty good, but let's get this little piece of stump out of there. All right, put the chain around that puppy. Figures, Jeep's not backed up far enough. Let's get that thing back here. All right, see if we can finish this up here. Well, I got a chunk of it, but it looks like the only way that I'm going to be able to get it is might have to drive the other direction there, or just go ahead and bury it because of the way it broke off. See, it's kind of running into the ground over here, and so it kind of broke off in a funky way. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that out, and I might just let it rot in the ground too. Now let's see here. I mean, we'll just chop it out with a good old shovel that's made for chopping. Well, you know what? I either need to get the real chopping tool or just let it be. See if I got a real chopping tool. It's always best to use the right tool for the job. So what I got now is I have this axe. We're just gonna go ahead and chop that thing out of there somehow, maybe. That. So now that we've got all the root out of there and the stump for the most part, we're just gonna fill in the hole with dirt. What is that? It's not supposed to be there. Now it's not. That's one of the many things you can do with the Jeep is pull some smaller trees out. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for some of the bigger trees. I've actually abused some other vehicles, some Ford trucks, quite a bit. Never broken any yet by using a bigger truck, but you know, you can do that with a Jeep. This is a Jeep Gladiator, and I put it in 4-wheel drive. It does work. So we're just going to I think I need a lunch.